Well, hello everyone. I just wanted to get some information out to you about therapy that you can use for fighting infections and viruses, and it also helps with acne and cancer as well, to stop growth of cancer. And this is called, and this might gross you out, but it's a time-honored practice. It's called urine therapy. Now in India, there was a Prime Minister of India named, Prime Minister Morarji Desai. His name is Morarji Desai. I met the Prime Minister of India back in 1987 in Chicago, when I was in the monastic order at the temple in Chicago. We had 5,000 people come to greet him and speak with him. It was a celebration celebrating God's birthday. And anyway, so I'm walking around in my monk robes, and he sees me and he comes over and he wants to talk to me. So I stopped to talk to him, and he's a very nice Prime Minister. And he was having a conversation for about 30 minutes, and then out of the blue he said to me, he said, I drink my own urine. And I said, what? Because, I said, I'd heard that he did drink his own urine, and for health benefits. And so I said, why do you do that? And he explained to me that it's a therapy called urine therapy, and it might sound repulsive to a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, but apparently it's effective in killing viruses and stopping infection, acne, cancer, things like that. What happens apparently when your body throws off your urine is there's a lot of hormones that your body manufactures. Your body's like a manufacturing medical plant, really. It's always trying to repair itself. And apparently when you release your urine, that it releases hormones, very powerful hormones, that your body doesn't need at the time. Now, if you put them back in your body, if you collect a cup of your urine and drink it and put them back in your body and put it back through your system, and keep in mind that your system, or the physical shell that surrounds your soul, is simply a machine. So if you take the hormones and stuff and medical stuff that it's making to heal the machine, and you put it back in the machine, drink a cup of your urine every day, then, if you can tolerate it, then that will help fight viruses and stuff. And I've heard that viruses, when they replicate, and your body is fighting them naturally, your body's fighting these viruses, and when they're replicating, they're very powerful, they replicate, but your body's breaking down these viruses slowly and trying to defeat them, making them weaker and weaker. And the weaker ones, they're the ones that are thrown out of the body through the urine and through your fecal matter as well. So I know it's an interesting topic that I've studied a little bit, but when your body throws out these weaker viruses that have been beaten by your system and thrown them out of your body and gotten rid of them, they're like half the strength of the current ones that are still in your system, that's still in your system. So if you take these weaker viruses and then you put them in your urine and you drink that cup of that urine, then these weaker viruses they will replicate with the more powerful ones. There's a dang mosquito, I hate those things. But then they replicate with the weaker ones, and they become weaker, you see, because they breed with the weaker ones, and then they become a weaker strain. You know, viruses are always mutating. They're always mutating. So if you take the weaker strains that are going out of your urine, put them back in your system and have them replicate with the original, more powerful ones, then they turn into a mutating strain and it weakens them. And then you keep doing that. And see, this is how, I mean, people that are deathly ill that start drinking their own urine, I've heard miraculous stories how they have become very much healthy very quickly. And so when these viruses keep breeding with the weaker ones, they mutate into a lower grade strain, and that lower grade strain, if you keep lower grading it by putting these weaker ones back in your body, and then you keep lower grading those and lower grading those, then after a while your system cures itself, and you can kill these viruses that way. So it's a long-standing practice as well. That cow urine in India, in all the Ayurvedic shops, the health stores of India, they sell cow urine from cows. We're talking about cows that aren't injected with antibiotics and all this stuff that the Western cultures are. And as a matter of fact, you can get this cow urine on Amazon.com. And you can order it on Amazon.com, cow urine, and it comes to you in a package, and you can drink a cup of that a day. And that is a very powerful antiseptic, very powerful, because they have found out that cows give out antiseptic properties in their stool and their urine, and you can get cured from practically a lot of things from doing that. And it's very commonplace in India that everyone does that. They all use that as a medicine. You know, it's very powerful, and everyone knows that. So these are natural ways to cure yourself. If you think that if you get sick with this virus or any other virus, for that matter, there's who knows how many is out there, right? There's a lot of flu viruses and different other things. Now they say there's type L, type S, flu virus, what else? Who knows, SARS, MERS. I mean, there's so many of them, you know, and they're not going away. They're not going away. You know, these are the antibodies of the earth, and they're coming to rid the earth of things that are hurting her, you know, because she's alive. She's a live planet, and they're coming to kill. They see us as a virus because of the things that we're doing environmentally to kill Mother Earth. So these things, and they think, oh, they've manufactured a biological weapon. Yes, well, where'd they get the ingredients? Where did they get the ingredients to start manipulating these viruses? These viruses are antibodies of the earth, I promise you that. And I will say that they can take these viruses and manipulate the DNA and all that stuff, you know, stick little ingredients in them. Apparently this biological weapon they've created, they have put the AIDS virus and mixed that with it too, because that's a monkey virus. And the monkey virus, they've always wanted the AIDS virus to go airborne, and now it has. So they've always wanted that. They wanted that because the monkey virus is designed to kill humans. Humans are, the word hu in Chinese is serpent or dragon. I think it's dragon. Yeah, the word hu is dragon, and then man is, the hybrid. We're all hybrids, with a few exceptions of the royal families and the elite leaders of the world. They're the pure-blooded species. But the humans, which is the majority of the planet, that's on the planet, there's probably 17% is the full-blooded RF negative species. But the human species, this species has the rhesus monkey DNA in it. And that's why they put this AIDS virus or the monkey virus and mixed it with a type of flu virus, so it goes airborne and it latches on and kills they want to kill all the humans because we're apparently the half-breeds. But I don't think this is going to work because God doesn't want it to. But however, it's basically they don't need humans on the planet anymore in great numbers. They did need humans on the planet to build their economic structures. They did need the humans to mine their gold. They did need the humans to do all their forced labor, all the labor and the hard work for the elite. They needed all the humans for that. Now that the infrastructure is complete, it's all built, and they want to modernize everything, including self-driving trucks, self-driving taxis, self-driving Ubers, self-driving everything, and they want to mechanize and robotize the whole world, and therefore they're not going to need any humans to run anything, maybe one to push a button that runs a whole factory or something like that. But there's not a great a need for humans as there was in the past. And what are all these humans doing anyway? You see them? If you go to America, and I've been to these cities because I traveled for a living at one point for like 25, 30 years. And so I've seen what happens when there's no work for humans. I've seen this firsthand. I have seen in San Francisco and Oakland, California, the most horror-filled worlds that these humans have created in these big cities in California. Los Angeles. I used to have to work near the Los Angeles bus station, and that whole street, there's like acres and acres of tents with all these humans there that are injecting themselves with drugs and prostitution and filth and all kinds of diseases from their camps from lack of hygiene. So San Francisco is the worst. Oakland, California is the worst. San Francisco is the worst. When I came to Cambodia, I met a man, and he said to me, a Cambodian gentleman, and he said to me, he says, "Why are you here? Why are you here in Cambodia?" I said, "Why am I where? Why am I where in Cambodia?" I said, I'd rather be here because at least the people here are religious. And it was either Cambodia or India for me, because what they've done to America is a crime. It is a crime. America used to be a very, very amazing place where everybody could get along together and work and just, make a living and be left alone. They have turned America into a cesspool. That is no joke. It's a cesspool. They ship, every day they confiscate tons, I'm talking about tons of cocaine, heroin, major, what else do they take? What other horrible stuff are they taking now and putting in their bodies so they can't even find themselves? They're taking heroin, they're taking cocaine, they're taking fentanyl and crack. I mean, there are people that are taking drugs that when they inject them in their body, it immediately forms a hole in their body. And ecstasy, when they take ecstasy, it makes big holes in their brains so they can't think anymore. And I've seen waves and waves of, I call them the living dead zombies. I've seen waves and waves and waves of zombies in these major cities, San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles. Waves of zombies walking around with holes in their brains from ecstasy. And their life is just, it's just a travesty. It's really horrible. But they let all of these people take over the whole country for money, for drugs and money. And why don't they put a stop to it? Because they're in on it. They're in on it. Everybody's in on it. They're all being bribed. They're all being, some of the most major drug dealers in the world are some of the leaders in the world. And I'm not going to go into all the detail of it, although we know who they all are. I think the only solution as far as the drug problem in America, they're going to lose the country to drugs. They almost lost China to drugs back in the 1800s, and they almost lost China to opium. And so then that's when they came out with these big laws to kill everybody that was doing drugs and selling drugs. And they started doing that, and they got their country back. And the Philippines, same thing. They almost lost the Philippines. And that very fine leader of the Philippines, who I like very much, he wanted to put a stop to it. So he said, he passed a law that all drug dealers and all drug users will be killed from now on. And that's a harsh treatment, but it works very well. So if you're caught with drugs or caught dealing drugs, then you're killed. And so they don't have a drug problem anymore. And, so that's really, I hate to say it, but that's the solution. That's the only solution. Because if you turn yourself into a slave for drugs instead of loving God and becoming addicted to God, of course we're all addicted to something, but if you become addicted to God, then you chase after God with every breath you take. And that is real happiness. And that is what is going to save people. But if you're sick with these viruses, and I might have got a little bit off on a tangent here, and I do apologize, but this is kind of on the top of my head, but if you take drugs and if you're sick by a virus, that's what I was going to say. If you're sick by a virus, if this virus is making people sick, then you can't function properly. You cannot function properly. You can't think properly because you're sick. You're sick. You're really sick. You can't function properly. Your body's infected, and whatever else says it does to them. You got this AIDS monkey virus mixed with the flu virus in your system, and they can call it whatever they want, but that's what it is. And so you got that in your system, and it makes you short of breath. It makes you tired, I guess. It makes you get a fever, headaches, coughs. And if you're sick, your chakras, your energy centers, they're not going to be functioning correctly. So it's important to make yourself well. It's important to make yourself well. And a virus, like a computer virus and any other type of virus, any kind of thing, this is why they can't cure it, because they put them in the hospital and they're cured. They test negative. But a virus hides itself, like in a computer. a virus takes part of itself and replicates it and hides it in a very safe area where nothing can touch it. And then after a while, when it thinks it's safe, it re-manifests itself again, same full blast thing. So I think it's probably going to be very beneficial to do this urine therapy and see if that works against these viruses. And I think it will. I think it might be very helpful. And it might sound repulsive, and people might not even think of doing that. But it's a point where you might have to consider all your options. At least look around and see what are the best virus killers. And of course, you have your, on YouTube, you have the other virus killer that, mixes garlic and a lot of, you can look it up on YouTube. Just type in virus killer on YouTube, and I'll show you how to make this virus killing drink. So we have to be, I think, proactive, and start boosting our immune system, and doing different types of treatments, natural treatments. Because I'll tell you one thing is, you go to these hospitals, and then they put a bunch. They might even have a cure for it. I mean, I'm still thinking they have a cure for it, that they're only going to give to the people, the elites, and let everybody else, all the half monkey, half dragon people, let them die. But anyway, there is ways around all this, and there's ways that we can use our brains and look around for other solutions to this problem. Because I'll be honest with you, if it comes down to everybody in the world walking around wearing a mask, is that really what you think that God wants everyone to do? Walk around wearing masks, masking your face, from the air that you breathe? Is that really what you think that God wants? Yeah, He didn't. I wasn't born as a baby with a mask on, okay? When I was born, I was probably pretty ugly when I was born, by the way. But when I was born and I came out into this world, the first thing they did is slap you on your behind, and you take a breath of air with no mask on. You have no mask. There's no mask. And what they're saying now is that the whole world is going to be infected by this virus anyway, whether you have a mask or don't have a mask, or where you could get it from the surface of something. You could touch your eye with your fingers. You could just, basically, do you want to live like that? Do you want to live in fear of everything you touch, every person you see, every breath you take, every step you take, and look around thinking, what's going to infect me? What's going to infect me? If you're always meditating on something, I'll tell you another thing. If you're always meditating on something, thinking, what's going to happen? When's it going to affect me? When's the virus? If you're always meditating on something, it's going to come. It's going to come. And they're predicting this weapons grade virus is not a joke. It's not a joke. They've planned this for a very long time. They've planned it for a very long time. And now you see what they're doing. They're coming out with all these electric cars and everything, which they should have had 100 years ago. But now they're coming out with these electric cars and all that. Why? Because they know that oil cars are a thing of the past, and they pollute the environment and they hurt the earth. So now they realize that, and also it takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of manpower to go into the oil fields. I used to work around Texas in Odessa, and you had literally 10, 20, 30,000 people working in the oil fields. It takes a lot of manpower to work in the oil fields and get that oil out of the ground. And if they're going to kill everybody with this monkey virus that they don't need anyone else, then electric cars is the way to go. Doesn't take a lot of manpower. You can build those things with robots. You can build those with robots. As a matter of fact, you don't need a driver for them. You don't need drivers for taxis. You don't need drivers for Ubers. You don't need drivers for semis. You don't need any of that workforce. Everything can be loaded by computers. Everything can be computerized. You don't need people anymore. You only need maybe a few. Because if you killed all of them, then you wouldn't have anyone to yell at, right? Anyway, so that's I went off on a little tangent, but I did want to get these points across. And right now, we're solving a water issue right now in Phnom Penh, where people are having we're rationing our water right now. But we're going to solve that tomorrow, or tomorrow or the next day. I think tomorrow it's going to be fully solved. And then I won't look so grubby. I'll have shaved. But I still do take one bucket shower a day, but this is a hot season, so anyway, we're dealing with it. So it's a pleasure to see you all. I pray you all stay blessed. This is just a suggestion on how to protect yourself from the evil that some people are throwing at all of us and our families. And of course, you cannot, they've done it before. Don't think this is a one-time, they have done it before. They have done it before. Back in the 1800s in America, over 10 million people died of influenza. In America, I think they say 40,000 people a year, 40,000 people a year die of influenza in America. That's a flu virus. That's what's mixed in with this monkey virus. So, and then of course in Egypt, back in Egypt, the days of Christ, they released a virus on every other house, killed all the babies. They killed all the babies in the whole town. They said, put a mark on your door. If you're a Christian, put a mark on your door. And every house where there wasn't a mark, they injected that virus into the house and killed all the families. They've been using biological warfare on people forever. It's a very effective weapon, but it can also be defeated quite easily. And it's important that while we're on this planet, we stay well. And I pray you all stay well, that we stay well so we can align our chakras and pray and meditate to God and be happy and stay high forever, because being with God is true happiness, and that's what we should all be striving for. And it's hard to do if they make you sick. So basically, they've said in the past, they said, we are never going to allow anybody to become as self-realized as Lord Jesus Christ or Lord Buddha or anyone. They don't want that. They don't want anybody to achieve what they're put here on life, on the earth, here for. They don't want you to achieve that. They want you to be a drone. They want you to be like a terminal to the main computer. They want you to be like a terminal to their whole system. We can do that. We can be a terminal, but you can never stop surrendering your heart to God. And then that's the real happiness. The pleasure from that is 1 billion times more than anything, any love in this world. It's 1 billion times more than that. So that is what my message is today. And if you're repulsed by this urine therapy concept, that's okay too. because everybody has to live their life the way they want to live it. I'm not here to direct anybody, to guide anybody on the way to live. That's what each individual decides that on his own. So I'm just throwing my ideas out there. Leave a like and comments. Oh yeah, do me a favor and push the like button so that this goes on to the, I'm having a problem getting onto the algorithm. So this goes on to the algorithm and gets to as many people as possible. Hit the like and subscribe button. And this channel will need to grow so we can get the message out to more and more people. Right now, we're very small. But we're just going to tell the truth, no matter how small we are. We could stay very small and happy. I don't care. I know what the main goal for me is, so it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, we want to get the message out. So if you hit the like and subscribe, that would be beneficial to help others. So have a great day. Have a blessed day. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much.